Okie dokie. This is another comparison video. This one's going to be on the barebones 1.0 between the barebones 2.0. Oh boy, another barebones. I've only had these knives for a short while, but I wanted to get this out of the way because I'm not really a big fan of the barebones, and I know exactly why. For starters, why I don't like the barebones. Too heavy, too thin, too slick, and the balance is all off. It does not have enough ass weight to it. All that weight is carried in that front of the blade and the top of the handles, because the top of the handles are so much thicker than the bottom of the handles. But yeah, let's go into the comparison before this turns into a rant video. For big starters, the 2.0 has this lavish, rounded Tonto-esque blade, whereas the 1.0 had this weird Bowie-shaped blade, which had a nasty little pin at the top of it that cut people more than the blade did. Now on the 2.0, that is still there, but it is less noticeable when you're flipping. The 1.0 is a lot taller than the 2.0s. Now I heard that with the 2.0 they reduced the weight from the 1.0. And you could say I definitely tell after flipping the 1.0 for a second. More than a second, obviously. And then going to the 2.0, you can definitely tell that there's less weight, but you definitely notice that there is more weight on the blade, which for me is horrible. I personally love handle biased knives and, you know, rear biased, not necessarily rear heavy, just rear biased to the point where you notice that the knife will stick to your fingers a lot better than it would if it was something like the 2.0, where it's all in the front. Now you can still chaplain with it, and you can do vertical stuff just fine if you know what you're doing. And it's all good and dandy, but again, that's all the same stuff you could do with the 1.0, if not, excuse me, if not a little bit better on the 1.0, because it has more handle weight to it. It might flow a little bit better to you, because in my opinion the balance on the 1.0 is a little bit better. I think that for them to take off some of the handle weight is smart, but they should have also taken off a lot of the blade weight. And I understand it's really difficult to balance out, you know, stainless steel handles with the blade, because, you know, stainless steel is cheaper, but it's also really heavy in compared to titanium and stuff like that. So I understand it's really hard to balance that out. But honestly, if they just improved a couple of the features on the 1.0 a little bit better, like the tip on it, they could have just fixed the 1.0 and didn't have to come out with a completely new knife that has worse balance. You know, if you don't want a heavier knife, don't get the barebones. And I think they tried to solve that with keeping that budget flipper that anybody could really afford if they put their time and effort into it. But at the same time, creating something that wasn't really better than the 1.0. I still think that the 1.0 reigns supreme over the 2.0 for those reasons. Now, I've seen a lot of people flip the barebones fantastically, and I know a lot of people who actually enjoy the barebones. Like, I'm pretty sure my buddy Matt, who lent me all these knives today, actually enjoys the barebones, but I just don't. It's too heavy. The balance on the 1.0 is better than the 2.0. it's just not for me. If they took a lot of that blade weight off, it would be a lot better. But they didn't. So now we're stuck here with two knives that are below par for mid-range money. So I guess that's really the only comparisons I have to say about it. The lengths are the same, the weight is just a little bit lower on this, but that's only in the handles, it's not in the blade. The blade still has a lot of that weight, and you will definitely feel it when you're flipping this. I think that if they took the 2.0, they still shaved all the weight off of it, they had the blade the same, they put stainless steel block spacers in the back, or even titanium block spacers, I think that it would be a marginally better knife. But I understand if they were to do that, it would have to jack up the cost a bit, because you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too, unfortunately. So that's it for those two comparisons. Now a little surprise comparison coming for you. We have the Barebones 1.0 blade on aluminum handles, which I'm sorry to whoever makes these, it is laughably bad. It's honestly, I would probably rather flip this than those two stock. But oh my god, no. This creation should not have come to be. You should have made them a lot thinner. Put it this way. Gap should have been smaller, handles, slabs could be still as thick. Well, I guess that wouldn't work to make up for the blade size, but honestly, I don't know what you could do to fix this train wreck. It is too light. The handle spacing is enormous. The colors, good. You know, I like the colors. I can appreciate the colors. But the thickness is so noticeable. I mean, take the thickness from this and you put it up against the Thai bass. These are thicker than the Thai bass. See how well I can let you guys see that. These are thicker. Thicker, thicker, thicker. Maybe just by a hair, but that's thickness that people notice. And I know that this didn't come directly from BRS, but you know, that's not really the point I'm getting at. So out of the three that I just went over, the aluminum, the 1.0, and the 2.0, which one would I prefer? I'm still gonna have to go with the 1.0. That's just how it is. So yeah, I guess that wraps up this video. Going on for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't really know what video I'm gonna do next. I'll probably just make a flipping video of me like flipping the basilisk or the rep until I'm ready to do a review on it. Yeah, I have the Thai bass, I have the replicant. I'll probably do a full-fledged review on the 3.0. I just did a comparison between the 3.0 and the Infinity, which I'm actually pretty happy with. So, alright. I guess that wraps it up for this. Have a great night.